Salvete omnes. This is chapter 30, exercise C. We are to translate the following italicized words from each of the English sentences here into Latin. So we are to number one, prima. The first one, to translate I saw 1,000 girls, we want to turn 1,000 girls into Latin. Now, to complete this, you're going to need to take a second look at your word study from this chapter, from chapter 30. You're going to have to take a second look at the difference between mille and milia, milium, neuter, plural. Luckily, I brought some notes. So, the way that this works is that if you want to talk something that is 1,000, 1,000 something, like 1,000 girls, you're going to use the indeclinable adjective mille. The indeclinable adjective mille. So 1,000, a singular thousand. So I saw 1,000 girls will be mille puellas vidi. All we need to put down on the blank is mille puellas. It's puellas, accusative plural, because the girls is the direct object of the verb saw. So I is the subject, I saw 1,000 girls. Now it's only 1,000 girls. Only 1,000? So since it's only 1,000, not more than 1,000, we're going to use mille, an indeclinable adjective. That indeclinable means it only has that form, and it's an adjective, so it modifies the noun, girls. So mille puellas, it's the only form it has. Now when you go to secunda, the second one, I saw 5,000 boys. All right, what does Latin do? Well, 5,000 is more than 1,000. 5,000 is more than 1,000. So you cannot use the indeclinable adjective mille because that's only 1,000. You have to use the noun milia, milium, neuter, plural. It's always neuter, it's always plural. Its forms are milia, milium, millibus, milia, millibus. Because it's a noun, it cannot agree with another noun. So you have to turn one of those nouns into a genitive, because a genitive is like granting adjectival powers to a noun. So we turn one of those nouns into a genitive, a partitive genitive. So for example, for the second one, secunda, I saw 5,000 boys, you need to turn this into I saw 5,000s, thousands, more than 1,000, of boys. So if you have more than 1,000 of something, the of something of boys, that needs to turn into the partitive genitive. You need to make that into a genitive. Sometimes de or ax plus the ablative is used, but most of the time it's the partitive genitive. A part of something. So the noun will be milia, and you'll decline it into whatever case you need in your sentence. Remember, it's always neuter and always plural. Milia, milium, millibus, milia, millibus. But if you have thousands of something, the of something will be in the partitive genitive. So if I saw 5,000 boys, that's I saw 5,000s of boys. So I saw, the verb is vidi, I saw. What did I see? The direct object, and the accusative is milia. I want the accusative of milia, and because it's neuter, that's milia. Now 5 is an adjective. Quinque, it's indeclinable, so it's just always only quinque. Agrees with milia in gender numbering case. Quinque milia, 5,000s. Now puerorum is the partitive genitive. That's genitive plural, of boys. I saw 5,000s of boys. So this could be translated that way, or you can just say, I saw 5,000 boys. You cannot just put quinque mille pueros. Doesn't work like that. need to rearrange it to 5,000s of boys. And the of boys, the of noun, that's a partitive genitive. Okay, so tertia. I saw 3,000 of soldiers. I saw 3,000s of soldiers. I saw 3,000 soldiers. So it's not just 1,000, it's more than 1,000, 3,000. So we want to use the noun, milia, milium, neuter plural. I is the subject, saw is the verb, so we want the direct object accusative of milia, which is milia. So for the blank, you're going to write milia. Now, 3 in Latin does actually decline. Unus, duo, and tres do decline. Tres, tria. Tres, tria. Because milia is neuter, we want tria, the neuter form. Remember, 3 is always plural because, duh, it is. So, tria milia. And then of the soldiers. This is going to be our partitive genitive. I saw 3,000 soldiers. I saw 3,000s of soldiers. We want the partitive genitive. The genitive plural of miles militis masculine is militum. So you could say tria milia militum. I've also had students ask about ex or de plus the ablative to show the partitive idea. You could say tria milia de militibus, or tria milia militibus, letter E, ex militibus. But once again, the partitive genitive tends to be the more popular one here. They came 1 mile. They came 1 mile. Okay, what's a mile? 1 mile in Latin, a single mile, is 1,000 paces. A single mile is 1,000 mille paces, passus. Passus, us, masculine, fourth declension. So if they came 1 mile, the verb is came. Who did? They did. So they are the subject. This is our verb in the past tense. It's perfect tense. And what distance? What extent of space? What span of distance did they travel? How far did the action of the verb go? It went for 1 mile. They came 1 mile. That's the extent of distance. That is the span of distance traveled, 1 mile. It will be in the accusative case. The accusative shows the span of distance, the extent of space, how far the action of the verb goes, because that's what accusatives do. Accusatives show where the action of the verb goes, either to a noun, a direct object, or it can show how long the action occurred time-wise, duration of time, that's accusative, or it can show extent of space, how far the action went. So if I threw something for 50 feet, the length, the distance of 50 feet in Latin would be in the accusative. So they came 1 mile. So 1 mile is just going to be passus, 1,000 paces. So passus with a macron over the u, passus, and then the indeclinable adjective mille to agree with it. So your answer for quarta is going to be mille passus. Mille passus. But for quinta, 5, if they came 10 miles, well, that's going to be 10,000s of paces, 10,000s of paces. Now we're working with the plural milia, not the singular mille, the indeclinable adjective, but now we're working with more than 1,000, milia, 10 miles, 10,000s of paces. Decem, milia, accusative of extent of space, of paces, thousands of paces. Of paces is going to be our partitive genitive. We want the plural of passus us masculine, and that's passuum. Passuum. So they came 10 miles. Decem milia passuum. Sexta. He spoke to 4,000 citizens. He spoke to 4,000s of citizens. So spoke is the verb. Who did it? He did. He is the subject. He did the verb. To. Now this is not accusative motion towards. It's not odd plus the accusative. We're not moving towards the 4,000 citizens. We're just talking to them or at them. So that we want the dative, indirect object, indirect object. He spoke to the indirect object. Now notice it's not 1,000 citizens, not the singular 1,000, but plural thousands. It's 4,000s of citizens. So we want the dative of milia, which is millibus, millibus, indeclinable adjective numeral quatuor millibus, of citizens. Genitive plural, the partitive genitive of civis, masculine or feminine, is civium. It's an I stem, civium. So, quatuor millibus civium. Septima, they fought with 8,000 foot soldiers, with 8,000 foot soldiers. So we have cum plus the ablative of accompaniment, cum plus not a singular 1,000, but more than 1,000, thousands, with 8,000s of foot soldiers. Cum octo is the indeclinable numeral adjective, modifying milia. We want milia because it's more than 1,000. We want thousands of foot soldiers, and foot soldiers will be partitive genitive. Cum octo, ablative millibus. Peditum, peditum, the genitive plural of pedes, peditus, masculine. Peditum. Octo, octo, be careful here. 2,000 captives were found in the camp. So notice we have a passive voice verb. The captives, the 2,000 captives, did not do the finding. They were the ones who were found. The finding happened to them. The action happened to them. They did not actively do the action. The action happened to them. They are passive. They are passive. So the verb is passive. So who was found? The 2,000 captives, our nominative subject. If the verb is passive, that means that the subject is being acted upon. So 2,000 captives. We have more than 1,000. We have 2,000. 2,000s of captives. 2,000s of captives. We need duo, 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 which is always plural because it's two, to agree with milia, milium, neuter, plural. We said this is the subject, so we want the nominative milia. If that's nominative plural neuter, we want duo, nominative plural neuter, duo milia, and then of captives, the partitive genitive of captivus e masculine, captivorum, captivorum. The duo milia captivorum were found. Now check out were found. We said it's passive voice. It's going to be third person plural because they, the captives, they were found in the camp. So they, third person plural. And it's going to be perfect in passive. So it's going to use the fourth principal part of invenio, inveniere, inveni, inventus. Inventus were found in the camp. So perfect passive, inventus a sunt. But make that plural, inventi a sunt. Now you can't just leave it inventi sunt. You got to actually pick a gender. What was actually found in the camp? Latin says it's the thousands, not the captives. The captives are like, it's a genitive, but genitives are almost like adjectives. They're nouns, but they have adjective powers. So genitives tend to modify other nouns. We're actually talking about the 2,000s are the things that were found. It's just 2,000s of what? Of captives. So the passive voice verb here actually needs to agree with the milia, the duo milia, not the captivorum. The captivorum is more like, in Latin, describing what the 2,000s were like. What were they like? Oh, they were captives. Oh, prisoners. Okay, yes, of course. So this needs to be inventa sunt, inventa sunt. Duo milia captivorum inventa sunt. It needs to be neuter plural to agree with the milia. That's a tricky one. Nona, sententia nona, we carried the weapons of 1,000 soldiers. Of 1,000 soldiers. This one's really easy because it's a singular 1,000. Indeclinable adjective, mile. It doesn't change its form. It doesn't decline. And we just need the genitive plural of soldiers because it's the weapons of the soldiers. Possessive noun, they're possessing the weapons. So miles militis, masculine, the genitive plural is militum, mille militum, mille militum. And then he lived in Europe for 20 years. For 20 years! For the duration of time, 20 years. Remember that space and time are the same thing. They came 1 mile, that is distance traveled, extent of space. Not too much different than he lived in Europe for 20 years. For 20 years, duration of time. Space and time, they're the same. So for 20 years, notice the use of the preposition for in English to indicate duration of time, how long the action went. So we want the accusative of 20 years. 20 is wiganty, and that's indeclinable, vigentesimal, counting system based on 20. And then years is annus, masculine. We want the accusative plural, and that's annos, annos. So wiganty annos. If you're asking, well, where's the preposition for? That is shown by the accusative case. The use of the accusative here shows us we want duration of time. Wiganty annos. So if you see a time word like years, months, hours, seasons like winter, summer, spring, autumn, in the accusative, those tend to be duration of time, how long the action occurs. Optime, very well done. Make sure you are able to distinguish between mille, a singular 1,000, an indeclinable adjective, and then millia, millium, always neuter, always plural, more than a singular 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, etc., going up.